This fortitude budget will be funded out of past reserves. This is a second draw on past reserves this financial year. Our past reserves are our strategic assets, built up through prudence and hard work of our people across generations. The government has always upheld the principle that our past reserves are to be used only in exceptional circumstances. For the Unity, Resilience and Solidarity budgets, we used up almost all our accumulated surpluses since the start of this term of government. But what we need to deal effectively with COVID-19 has grown so much that we have no choice but to draw on past reserves. In our fight against COVID-19, our past reserves have been critical in enabling us to respond comprehensively and robustly to the situation at hand. We will have to deploy it in a deliberate manner and at decisive moments in this battle against COVID-19. In the earlier Resilience and Solidarity budgets, the President gave approval to draw up to $21 billion from our past reserves. This allowed us to safeguard jobs, keep the economy going, and provide direct assistance to Singaporeans during this difficult period. I also told members then that I was prepared to propose to the President to make further draws on past reserves should it be necessary. Since the Resilience and Solidarity budgets, the impact of COVID-19 on Singapore has deepened. Lives and livelihoods are at stake, and we are moving to secure our future. After a challenging circuit breaker period, we are now preparing to reopen our economy. To do so in a safe and calibrated manner, and to continue to support our people, we are proposing a further draw on our past reserves. The Prime Minister met with the President to share the government's considerations. Ministers Gan Kim Yong, Lawrence Wong, Chan Chun Sing, and Indrani Raja joined me last week to brief the President and the Council of Presidential Advisers on the government's assessment of the situation, the details of the measures, and the resources needed. The President, in consultation with the CPA, has given her in-principle support for a further draw of $31 billion from our past reserves to fund the measures in this budget. As President Halimah stated in a Facebook post yesterday, and I quote, "Indeed, this crisis is unprecedented. Lives and livelihoods continue to be at stake. Having deliberated and considered the recommendation of the CPA, I am satisfied that a fourth support package is necessary. I have therefore given my in-principle support for the proposed measures to draw on government's past reserves." Unquote. Altogether, we are looking at drawing up to a total of $52 billion from past reserves this financial year to enable Singaporeans to tide through this crisis and emerge stronger. This is a very significant amount, necessitated by the very exceptional nature of the COVID-19 crisis. I thank President Halimah, Chairman Eddie Teo, and members of the CPA for your support. Members of this House know how strict I have been on prudence and my ministry's emphasis on value for money spending. The Public Accounts Committee has also been scrutinizing the government's expenditure. I have deliberated long and hard on the measures and went through many rounds of deliberations with fellow ministers and my staff. I have also discussed with PM and my cabinet colleagues before finalizing this set of measures. It has been an unprecedented crisis that is still changing rapidly. But I'm grateful that we have the fiscal resources to mount this response and the unity, resilience, and solidarity of our people to battle this together. We have a responsibility to make the best use of these resources, to keep our people safe, to save jobs and transform businesses, and to emerge stronger. Every dollar that we have saved has been saved by careful counting over the years. In spending this national savings now, we must make every dollar spent count. While we have the resources and the will to do what is needed in fighting COVID-19, we must continue to stay nimble and adaptive in this rapidly evolving situation. We are dealing, as many have said, with a very smart and agile virus. Now, to cater for urgent and unforeseen expenditure needs, which have yet to be provided for under the Supply Act, the Constitution provides for Parliament to create contingencies funds. Each year in our annual budget, we set aside a total of $3 billion as a buffer in the contingencies fund and the development contingencies fund. With COVID-19, we are facing unprecedented levels of uncertainty. It is uncertain how the pandemic will evolve, if there will be a second or even third wave, and if and when vaccines will be available. The uncertainty on the medical front is fueling the uncertainty in the global economy. Members will appreciate that within less than 4 months, we are deploying 4 budgets to protect Singapore and Singaporeans. To meet this unprecedented level of uncertainty, we will set aside a larger sum in the contingencies funds so that we can respond to urgent and unforeseen needs swiftly. Having briefed Cabinet, the President and the CPA, I will set aside an additional $13 billion in the contingencies funds. This will allow the government to respond quickly to any unforeseeable developments arising from COVID-19. This could include public health or fiscal measures that have to be put in place quickly if the medical or economic situation deteriorates. We'll do our best to avoid this, but we must be prepared for any eventuality. The use of the contingencies fund is subject to proper governance and accountability. Under the Constitution, the Minister for Finance may make advances from the contingencies funds if the Minister is satisfied that there is an urgent and unforeseen need for the expenditure and the President concurs with the making of such advances. Thereafter, the amount advanced shall be included in a supplementary supply bill or final supply bill, which will be presented to and voted on by Parliament as soon as practicable. This approach is appropriate and prudent, given the fluid situation which may require government to act swiftly in the coming months.